everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
Due to the graphic and disturbing nature of the crimes discussed, listener discretion is advised.
This is killing 15 minutes.
Why you can't do what I write?
Sam, we talk about murder. We talk about assassination. We talk about bad things. Starting off with, hello, my baby, hello, my honey, just seems really disrespectful. And we are already disrespectful enough.
Fine, whatever.
Okay, you had me fucking... I get quoting White Rabbit when we're talking about Charles Manson. But what... Should I have added song lyrics to fucking the Epstein ones? Should it have started with, don't stand so close to me? No, because that is very disrespectful. Also, I couldn't remember the words to Dangerous by Ghost of the Robot. No, I know it. I've been looking at you with long brown hair, pretty little feet sparkling everywhere. Look so good when you come my way, but I have to look down when you talk to me, 'cause you're dangerous. But the point is, that's disrespectful. And this file is called The Assassination of Olof Palme. Palme, whatever. So what, how does Michigan J. Frog relate to the assassination of Olof Palme here?
I don't know. That's what was stuck in my head. I wrote it down and was able to write the entire thing. So you're stuck reading whatever's written on the page.
Well, no, I'm not going to read whatever's written on the page. Well, whatever's written on the page is insane.
Yes, it is. Anyways, you want to keep going?
This is Killing 15 Minutes. We bring you a true crime fix in under 15 minutes or less, or your podcast is free. Wow, we have not actually used that as a tagline in a very long time.
No, we haven't. Not since we, at least 3 seasons.
I am AJ Carey,
yes,
the voice of our crimes. Jesus Christ! Written by my sister Sam Rossi. She writes up a first draft of a crime and I get to react in real time because she doesn't tell me shit about what's going on. So let's enjoy whatever Sammy gives us this week. Spoiler, it's a page and a half. There better be some meat to talk about. Sven Olof Joachim Palme was born on January 30th, 1927, in Stockholm, Sweden. His family was upper-class conservatives. This would help shape the man he would become. He would study at Kenyon College. Kenyon College is a private liberal arts college in Gambor, Ohio, founded in 1824. And he would get his law degree from Stockholm University. So, he was born in Sweden, went to a private liberal arts college in Ohio, and then went back to Sweden?
See? I don't know. I don't know the Swedish language.
Palme traveled around, yes, I will pronounce it Palm and Palme and such, because I have no idea how it's pronounced.
No, there's different accents that you can use.
Or his name is Palm. Traveled around Asia, and exposure to inequality shaped his longtime commitment to social democracy and anti-imperialism. Palme would go into politics, joining the Swedish Social Democratic Party, SAP. Sam is being nice, not having me disgrace the language. Oh, I was wondering why I'm like, Sam, that's a horrible thing to say. They're not all saps, but I'm assuming That's the Swedish version of the...
It's like the like us calling Nazis when they were the fascist socialist workers party or some shit like that.
They were still the National Socialist Party, just in German.
But you understand what
Yes,
I mean.
but they were a nationalist party, not a socialist party.
You're right, because they ousted all the socialists.
Yes. In fact, you know why they were called Nazis and not Sozis? You know who the Sozis were? The Sozis was their opposition party. You know why they were called Sozis? Because they were socialists. You know why Nazis were called Nazis? Because they were nationalists. Now, what does that have to do with these saps over here?
I don't know. It's just throwing out the difference in language.
SAP was founded in 1889. It is the country's oldest active party and a dominant force behind Sweden's modern welfare state. And why Sweden's actually doing really fucking good.
I believe they are now number 1 in happiness.
If they had legal enough drugs, everything's happy. Guns and drugs. And training to use the guns. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, and I think they only need 1 year of military training or
but
something
then again,
like that.
a big thing when it comes to Sweden and a lot of things like Finland and whatnot. Because then you've got the racists going, well, yeah, there's only 99%, they're 99% white. That's why they're so happy. No, it's the fact that they've never, they found the inequities and they try and fix them, regardless of race.
They are my second places to live, but I can't get an island.
You bring up the island one more time, I'm done with this show, and you can go swim to your own fucking island.
But brother, I need your help getting the island.
Wow, that sucks for you then. You
What?
shouldn't bring up the fucking island. I stopped bringing up the goddamn raccoon. You can't talk to the audience, that's what I do.
Help
No, that is what I do. You don't talk to them. They're my friends.
Okay. They could be your friends too.
No two. They're my friends.
Okay, they're your friends.
I will take away your mic and we will go back to the single shotgun mic in the middle of a living room.
I do believe we've gotten more listeners since we started doing the new mics.
You mean sounding slightly more professional?
Slightly, that, and also, and I do believe that we have a new PR person in the form of our nephew, Ray Ray.
Cool.
He has now gotten 6 people to start listening to multiple of our shows.
Cool, I think.
Well, they're not calling us cringe like the other kid.
My son?
That one.
So anyways, Palme would become aide to Prime Minister Tage Erlander. Erlander was the longest continuous tenure of any elected head of government in a modern democracy. He served from 1946 to 1969. Nice. However, I also feel that no one should be able to lead that long. I do actually like our term limits.
I do like term limits, but I can see where it's like FDR. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was helping the country. Yes, he did get, yes, there was World War II in there, but he did help the country. But you understand what I'm saying?
I do. And it was around the same time, so it was a global financial crisis happening, similar to our modern one, except our modern one was funded a lot worse and stupidly, and then evolved it to where we have the NFTs of today, because now they have their own different way to side hustle.
Next.
He served from 1946 to 1969. His views have shaped the world's model for a modern welfare state. Sam hates calling them that because welfare is a bad word in the US and all that shit. Anyways, Erlander was a smart dude, it seems, and well liked, if not at least respected by his people. Palme would become known for his sharp intelligence. Palme would become known for sharp intellect, confrontational debate style, and moral absolutism. Oh, wow. I know that feel. Sam doesn't like my in-your-face, edgy 90s attitude.
I never said I didn't like your 90s attitude. I said that you need to let me speak. Fucker! Keep going.
In 1969, Erlander stepped down as party leader. and Palme was elected as a new leader by the Social Democratic Party Congress and asked by King Gustav VI Adolf. Would it be Gustav Adolf VI? Or is it he's King Gustav VI, his first name Adolf?
I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest. I don't know.
Just threw a lot of words in there that I'm trying to figure out.
Because
I know a lot of
he's
kings.
King Gustav VI. I don't know why Adolf was thrown in there, so I apologize. But I had to type it for some reason.
Fair enough. To form a government and succeeded Erlander as prime minister. Palme was an interesting prime minister from 69 to 76. He worked hard to make sure his fellow Swedes were taken care of. He would be re-elected in 82 and continue working hard. During his time in office, he would rarely have bodyguards while out and about. This says something about safety. AJ, please behave. All right. Sorry, I thought that was funnier than whatever the hell you wanted me to say.
Nope, but it was I didn't know where you would go with that, so it was dude, behave. It was a preempted, dude, behave.
Well, Sweden is a very safe country.
True.
Also, Sweden rarely ever pisses off everyone on the planet like certain United States do.
Yeah, they're less cocky.
Oh, you haven't seen what happened in Davos yet.
Did we invade Greenland?
We did not invade Greenland. But after this, look it up. It's funny. The one thing that I will say is hilarious. There was no one there on the tarmac to meet Trump when he showed up.
So you're telling me he flew too?
Around 11:21 p.m. on February 28th, 1986, Palme and his wife are walking home from a cinema when he was shot in the back with a first shot. A second shot rang and grazed Elizabeth Palme in the back, his wife. The assassin fled. Palme was pronounced dead at 6 in the morning. Why the fuck would you even write it that way? 0006.
I don't know why I write things. It sounded good at the time.
At the Sabbatsberg Hospital in Stockholm. Investigators believe that it was a .357 Magnum revolver. Wait, that's a big handgun. No, not that big. I mean, it is, but it's not.
It's a step down from a 44. And I'm thinking about the freaking, but I'm also thinking of the big ass.
You're thinking about something more like that 44 Magnum that we had.
Yes.
Not the .357 Magnum.
No, and I think because in my head they're similar calibers, so they should be similar sized handguns.
Well, they kind of are, but they also aren't as big.
Okay. Anyways,
that's what they have. In 1989, Christer Pettersson was convicted for the murder based on Elizabeth's identification. He would be acquitted and then released on appeal. None of the known theories matched, nor had any evidence led to anything. In 2020, and Sand does not agree with this at all, police named Stig Engström as the assassin. Engström, who worked in the Skandia building adjacent to the crime scene, came forward as a witness originally. He gave several contradictory interviews and even reenacted the event on TV, which drew skepticism but no formal charges at the time. Okay. Sorry, I thought you fucked up a date here. Engström killed himself in 2000, so there was no messy trial, just a name to close a 34-year-old case. And that's the end of that chapter. Ultimately, Sissy,
a good politician, I hate saying these words, a good politician was killed. No reason given. No one took credit like, hey, we're the Black October. We lay claim to this kill, kind of thing. It's nobody claimed it. Nobody, had any idea. There was nothing that led up to it. There was no death threats. There was nothing to put him I need to be on my toes. Right. So to me, it's more on the what the fuck side than the, hey, what was Mark Chapman? I had to stop for a minute.
What was he reading?
No, I knew that. we knew what was going. Yeah, he didn't directly send a death threat to John Lennon.
Are you comparing the death of a politician to a deal?
I was going to go somewhere else with it, but I couldn't remember the dude's name. And Jodie Foster kept coming into my mind. But I can't remember what his name is.
Hinckley.
John Hinckley.
John something Hinckley. Yes! John Hinckley! High five!
Hey!
He wanted the underage Jodie Foster.
Yes.
But
what I'm saying is that there were lead-ups to it. There was no lead-up to this.
Well, there was no real lead-up to John Hinckley killing the president, or trying to kill Reagan. Not that anyone had... Not that there weren't reasons to kill Reagan. No, I'm not saying that Reagan was a bad president, nor am I saying he was a good president. I'm saying...
Hindsight's 20/20, people.
It is very clear. It's one of those things. Do I agree with the assassination, the murder of Charlie Kirk? No. Do I understand why someone would want to put a bullet in him? Yes. It is a matter of, the understanding is not the same as agreement.
Correct. Do I believe I also say that we should be, executing all pedophiles, so...
I agree as long as they have enacted something.
Correct. If you are busted for kiddie porn, no. But if you are busted because you have assaulted a child,
well, and that's sort of it.
Your ass deserves to be in jail and dead within 5 years.
Because, and that's its own can of worms. We'll talk about that can of worms later.
Sorry.
This is about Sweden. I like Sweden. But no, I get
Wanda.
But I get what you mean, where it is a matter of 99.9% of political assassinations of political people, there is a political reason to it. So you'll have, someone turn around and be like, yeah, it's my group that fucking did that. We'll do it again too. Unless you strike the letter M from the record. Shit like that. But because this is almost comes off as a random act of violence, it almost feels slightly weirder because you don't have the same let's be real. In the US, if a politician is killed, so everyone's going to try and spin it to be, it's the enemy that did it.
It's the enemy, it's the other side.
But it's never because we live in a country that has normalized random acts of violence so much.
Correct.
It's like the second air quote assassination attempt on Trump. Not the first one, which I think we're not getting into. We're not getting into it. The second one was the dude who was just kind of stalking him outside of his golf course.
Right.
The place that he spends $5 million a week to fly back to, but somehow the $30 million so that kids can eat free at a government-sanctioned building is bad.
Yeah. Anyways.
But he did not take any shots at the president.
No.
To be fair, everyone who has tried to shoot at Donald Trump has been right-wing. But they haven't been Trumpers, and that's where we can get into a whole different discussion how Republican does not equal red hat.
Correct. All right, anyways.
But it is a matter of, it's a very interesting case, and I actually kind of want to look into and see why they chose Ernstrom besides he was the only other big name attached to it.
I think they picked him just because he was one of the first victims. And first eyewitnesses.
And he was already dead, so it's very easy to close the case by going, yeah, it was him.
It's like, who was it that they closed the case? I don't remember. Never mind. I'm confusing like 6 cases in my head, but one's standing out, but I can't remember the case. Well,
it's similar to my theory about the Boston Strangler.
Yes, or David Berkowitz.
Oh, the Son of Sam?
Yeah.
Where it is kind of like, I think they just lumped them together. Like, oh, this was just because there was enough evidence to just be like, let's close this case.
Yes.
And even some of the evidence was, oh yeah, sure, he shot 9 out of 10 of it, 9 out of 11 victims. These 2 were nowhere near Yonkers or Queens, wherever the fuck he was shooting up.
I think of the Bronx. I'm in Brooklyn. I don't know. I know it wasn't Manhattan.
Hey, go donate to our Patreon now and get us to do the Son of Sam killings. That should be fun. Because Sammy gets to be a stuffed doggy.
Arf, arf, arf.
Which, by the way, did you see that they're starting to roll back on that theory because he had very limited engagement with the family, period. So there was no real way that the dog could be the one to tell him to kill.
Yeah, they're
But to be fair, I don't think they're rolling back. I think that became sensationalized because we have this huge stigma against mental health.
Do I think the dog talked to him? Probably. As in, did the dog bark at him? Probably. I consider dogs barking as a form of communication.
But either way,
that's it.
Either way, that is unrelated to this. This right now just seems like a random act of violence.
Yeah, which doesn't fit political assassinations. I think that's
I think
issue.
that,
Doesn't
well,
fit
that's
the
exactly
pattern. Yeah.
is. It's sort of like there's been a couple journalists killed.
Yes.
And it's like, I think he was walking down the street. It was an air quote robbery, but they didn't try taking it's very similar. There's a lot of these sorts of killings where it's like, oh, this is totally a random act of violence. But then you can kind of be like, well, no, she was about to testify that Bill Clinton sexually abused her. So now all of a sudden a random robbery that didn't take anything in the middle of a coffee shop,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Work.
Or the journalist who was uncovering the fucking octopus or whatever the hell they called it.
Okay, anyways.
That one I want to do a killing on because I actually really want to focus a little bit more on how many times reporters and journalists are killed. But that's its own can of worms. So please go donate to Patreon so we'll talk about the Son of Sam. If you have anything more specific, since we are dirty, dirty Americans talking about Sweden, maybe Swedish papers knew more. It's sort of like when you look at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Instead of going to, en.wikipedia.org, if you go to, fr. And then you see what the French say about it. The only reason I even started doing that, sort of accidentally, is because I have a VPN.
Yeah.
So I was in my computer was in Denmark at the time. And I went to look at Wikipedia and it's in fucking German. And I'm like,
Dutch.
I believe Denmark's primary language is German.
Dutch.
No. Hold on. Let's end this real quick. We're both wrong.
What is it?
Danish.
Then who's Dutch?
Fuck if I know anymore. The Netherlands?
That's
where the windmills are. Yes. Netherlands is Dutch. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Well, we literally just had a moment where we couldn't remember Danish, okay?
I assumed it was with the Danes, which
is
Denmark. Yes, the national language of Netherlands is Dutch.
Okay, so
I just needed to remember the Danes. I'm so sorry, Danish people. Wait, we're talking about Sweden right now. Oh wait, no, my computer was in Denmark.
Your computer in Denmark, and why is it in German? It wasn't German.
I was looking at Nessie.
Yeah.
And the article, it's actually really fascinating because it is very much truncated compared to looking at the US version.
Okay.
But that's because Denmark is not on the same wavelength of it. It's like you can't look up the Bilderberg group. If you look at German Wikipedia, the Bilderberg group is not there. The Bilderberg group is going to be something I cover on Mything when I want us to be killed by the Kennedys.
Sounds good. Wrap it up.
I'm AJ Carey.
I'm Sam Rossi. Later, y'all.
Keep on carrying on.
CARE. Because
Carry On Production.